Hey everyone, Scratch.mit here. Today is part 2 of our basic space shooter game in Scratch. Last time we programmed the movement of the rockets and the bullets. Today we're going to be creating our starfish, which is the enemy, but the default one. Alright, so let's get started. So, here we are in the enemy default sprite. And if you weren't here in part 1, well, there's a link above right here, and there'll be one also in the description. So if you haven't seen part 1, check it out now before checking out part 2. Anyways, so first thing we want to do is set the starfish up. So let's go to the event category, drag a when green flag clicked, go to the looks category, drag a set size to 100%, set 100 to 33, scroll back down in the looks category and find a hide block. Now we're going to be using clones for the starfish so we can create multiple like we did with the bullet. So in the control category we're going to drag a forever and then drag a wait 1 second and then drag a create clone of myself. Unlike the bullet where there was a trigger, these are just going to spawn automatically and randomly. Well, not randomly yet, because right now it's every 1 second. And my bad, the create clone of myself should be on top of the wait 1 second. Okay, now you need to do something with it's a clone. So drag a when I start as a clone hat block. In the looks category, drag from the looks category a set color effect to pick random -200 to 200, as that opts in some randomization to the starfish. And I think it'll be better off if we change this to 1. Now, after we set the color, we're going to show him. So in the looks category, drag a show. Okay. Next up, we're going to position it. So, in the motion category, drag a go to XY and get a pick random. So we're going to go to an X position of a random from -200 to 200. See, that's why I mixed up the color effect. But we want the Y to stay the same. We're going to change the Y to 148. Alright. So that's going to be spawning within this area. Okay, next up, we want it to drop down. Well, what I mean by that is fall down to the ground. Or what? Yeah. Okay, so drag a forever block. And we just need to detect if we're touching the bullet so that, you know, we disappear or get beaten. Okay. So, and if then else block, in the sensing category, drag a touching mouse pointer, set that to bullet. Then we're going to play sound effect. So go to the sound blocks and drag a start sound collect, but we want a new sound. So go to the sounds tab and over here, search for pop. We're going to change this to pop. Then in the variables we're going to change score by 1. So that's how we're going to use our score system. Then we're going to delete this clone because we want to delete it after it gets hit. Alright, now we want to check if we're touching the edge. So drag another if then else inside the else. This looks a little confusing, but I'll explain it all after we're done. So in this case, I can drag another touching mouse pointer, change that to edge, and then the control category, drag a delete this clone. Otherwise, we're going to move down. So in the motion category, drag a change Y by 10. But we're going to change 10 to -2. So now we have our script done. What this does is, first it sets the size and it hides it, and forever every 1 second creates a clone, and when it starts as a clone, it chooses a random color, goes to a random position from here to here, and then forever it checks, am I touching the bullet? If I am, start sound pop will change the score and delete myself. If we're not touching the bullet, well, we'll check, are we touching the edge? And if we're touching the edge, we'll delete this clone. Otherwise, if none of that is true, we're going to move down. And what you can also do is drag scroll up, turn clockwise 15 degrees and change that to 2, maybe 5. Alright, so hopefully that made sense, and let's see that in action. So we have our star for spawning, and you could say that's a complete game, but for us it's not. As next time we're going to be improving the game, because you know this isn't the best game. Well, even the final product's not going to be that good, you know, in a beginner's aspect. But we're going to be adding a few more features next time, including a wave system, a new type of enemy, and a few more features. As always, this project will be shared down in the description below. Well, the link will be shared in the description below, and you can check out this project for yourself. And if you're having any troubles, let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to help. Anyways, this was a bit of a shorter video, but Scratch Warrior out.